Happy Monday. Sorry about the silence and the lateness. Only 4 minutes late. I mean, well, if you take 9:15 out off the table, what am I saying? I don't know. I don't know what today will be. I'm so tired. I went to Zumba this morning. I did Zumba Friday. I did Zumba Sunday. I did Zumba this morning. And then I gardened, I think, on Saturday, or was it Sunday? No, Saturday. And I started adding strength training. So I'm tired. And I also saw Life of Chuck, and I don't know, it was like a full day of a lot. And there's a heat wave, so anyways, hi Rose Wild, I saw your dolphin. Yay. Hi Maria. Welcome. Not sure what to expect of today. I don't know if I'm the person that needs to say that. I am supposed to know what to expect, because it's, things that I put down as topics and things, but I'm just like so I was falling asleep like half an hour ago. So, anyways, hi Arnaldo. Um Happy Monday. 219 subscribers. It was like as if whoever subscribed was just waiting for today, because I think it was yesterday or today. I think it was yesterday that two more subscribers, and I was like watching all weekend, or I was like, oh, not even one. And then 219, one more away from 220. And for some reason, because my brain is like, what do you call those? Not tears, but like gamification type of thing. So my brain thinks that reaching 220 is the goal. I mean, it is, but like 500 is technically the goal. And after 500, I'm going to relax a little bit. I'm going to get my $3 a month. Or I started watching on this outside, uh I forget what the name of the website is. Social Blade, that Ashley Brianna Eve was checking things on. And apparently my videos would make around $3. Some $2, some 5, some 1, a lot 0. So am at a whopping $15 in theory for the last 30 days. But I'll like be so happy to get those like $15 that half will go to taxes. Um but anyways, so yeah, I think I'm more excited to and curious to see what's on the other side of the door, which I've said this before. I think of Frasier um in the spa episode. Like, what's the other side of the door? There's a gold door, there's a platinum door. So it'll probably be like that. But right now, 500 would be awesome. But yeah, 219. I'm excited about 219. I'm excited to reach 2020. And you know what I noticed? This is like a psychological, philosophical moment. I noticed that we get used to it. Like, especially when you're increasing incrementally and small, you don't really see the increase. Like when I got the 50 subscribers that one time from Lauren's channel, and that was like, whoa. And in a way, I couldn't even celebrate it because it was too much that my brain could handle. Like it just was like really weird and unreal. So it's like also a psychological experiment for me, and like on myself of how this like what effect what effect it has as a human being to have these like numbers increase that in a way like they mean so much, but they mean so little at the same time, because only a handful of you are on the chat. So it's not that I'm feeling the heavy, not the heaviness, but like the weight, the heftiness is what I meant, of like the numbers increasing, because everyone I guess is listening more like um replay. And so yeah, so it's like it's just like so weird psychologically. I don't know, it's really cool to like notice it though. But yeah, 219. And anyone who's still here after that long introduction, I'm Arena for the replay for the new ones. I started doing these like short stories too, so I think that's kind of where that's coming from. And I'm going to release the Leslie Dobson, just that segment of my live because it was a 4 hour live. No wonder my Wi Fi shut down after a while and started burning the Wi Fi, the Wi Fi, the Wi Fi tower started burning. Not burning, but it smelled like heated plastic because it was 4 hours. And although I've done that before, so I don't know, whatever. Anyways. Um, but yeah, it was a long one. It was a long one. So I'll release that for just like, just directly that. Tonight, it's a little bit of everything and nothing. By the time that we are offline or before we get offline, it depends on how long this goes. It might not go to midnight. And I predict that the amended complaint or anything around it will be like at midnight. Like literally. So, we might see it, we might not see it tonight. And if it comes up, I'll cover it tomorrow, unless it comes up in the meantime. I'm going to leave the Bleak Lively thing towards the end so we can check all of that. Um, but yeah, yeah, I know. I don't blame you, Rose is Wild. Oh my gosh, yeah, I'm so sorry. The moment that I saw that extra S, um, yeah, sorry. Um, so yeah, anything else that I have here? Because I'm still getting used to having like a more proper introduction, and it's kind of weird to say proper introduction because that was not very proper. But yeah. Also, this not affiliated, not an ad, whatever. This is a Puma uh like combo. It has like shorts and this. It's not the most flattering, but it's really nice for summer. Not when you're like in 90-degree weather, but when you're like 70, 80-degree weather in the summer, it's actually like because it's 100% cotton. I sound like an ad. It's not an ad. I wish that I would have the affiliation with them, but because I think I like their shoes a lot, or I don't know, something, I don't know. I've been on a Puma kick, so yeah. But that was not my favorite animal when I was little. My favorite animal was the dolphin. Um, or orca at one point too. But the dolphin was like the initial one. And then I learned about orcas in fourth grade, I think, here in the US. And then I was like, ooh. And then I later found out it's the same family. They're dolphins. Orcas are not whales, they're dolphins. So, anyways, and then so the puma, my cousins and I had this like role playing um kind of thing where we each had like a not a spirit animal, we were like embodying that animal. So we were like walking around on Sunday when the whole family would get together, my like dad's side, and we were like walking around or like lounging or whatever, pretending to be these like big cats. I don't know why I think it was one of my cousins that loved tigers like a lot. So, you know, much easier to portray on land than a dolphin. So I went with a cougar or puma. And then my other cousin, he was a panther. I think a black panther. I don't know. So yeah, so pumas go way back for me. Maybe subconsciously that's why, or maybe subconsciously there's something else. So I started, which is kind of like an interesting segue to Life of Chuck. I don't. This is not going to be a big review because I forgot to like post it, but I did like a short review, like a right now review of it, and then like a full review that I'll release after it's out of the movie, out of the theaters, out of the cinema theaters, because I went in and I actually just texted with my one film friend. We both went in. Because I texted him, I'm like, you should check this movie out. I think you should check it out. And he's like, I just saw it on Friday, and I went in on went to it blindly, or into it blindly, and I loved it. And I'm like, me too. And that's what I was saying in my short little, what is it? Oh my gosh. Oh, this is going to be one of those lives. In my short review, in my instant review that I'll post tomorrow, um, it deserves to not be spoiled in any way. Don't look, if you've seen anything, anyone talk about it, cool. I'm also doing that same thing for Materialists. I saw so many videos online, like the best movie of the century, not the century, I think, but whatever. And then today I saw like why it's the hated, why this movie's hated, or like why it's the worst. So I clicked on one a few days ago. I'm like, no, I want to see it without any. I want to make up my own mind. I'm on this kick, starting with Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni case. I'm really curious to like develop my own idea, even though oftentimes I'm missing so much. I miss so much when I'm just like by myself and I don't hear other people's opinions or ideas or interpretations or whatever. But I just get curious about that. I always kind of I valued my perception or like myself enough to always have that kind of like I wasn't the person, which is like a strike against a BPD, which as someone who loves psychology also takes me back to Frasier. You kind of go like you learn about something and you're like, do I have that? Am I that? So, but yeah, I had a pretty like I enjoyed having an identity. I just I guess I didn't always like the identity that I had, but that's a whole different thing. But I wasn't very insecure through high school, through college. Like I became insecure in my 30s. And part of that is because I felt more different and yeah, different in my 30s once I started at my longest job so far. Obviously, I'm not gonna say where, but when I started that job, I started feeling the differences, the cultural differences. The I actually will read an excerpt from this book because it kind of talks about that. The just like adulthood, I think differences. Um, yeah. So and then with the relationship, that sets you into like, whoa, who am I in relation to another person? And because when we're like thinking of being in a relationship, when we think of it based on movies that we watch, based on people that we have around, our family, our friends, etc., or the ideas or books that we read or whatever, it's kind of like one-way street, you know? Like we know who we are, we accept so much, like we take for granted who we are and what we know in our perception, and we think that that's just like what it is for everyone. It's not a bad thing, it's not a good thing, it's just kind of a neutral thing that is. And then you meet someone, and for me it was like more in my 30s. The people that I met in my 20s didn't challenge that because I didn't care enough, or they didn't care enough to like get to that point. Um, and so like yeah, in my 30s I found the person that was like different. And it's so funny because he talks about, or he has talked about how um so many times I was like, what are you talking about? That's how I feel. How like my choices or my reactions or like my way of thinking or whatever just doesn't make sense. Like he can't even or couldn't even, this was like a few years ago. I remember him saying this, like he couldn't even um predict or anticipate. Like it just like it wasn't even close to how he thinks. Because we are two different people, we're two different genders, we're um a few different cultures. We have like a um, common, somewhat shared of like American, but then we also have our own different cultures, and then or subcultures or whatever Romanian would be for me. Um, like parental culture, I don't know. And so forth, and then like yeah, so, and how that combines and everything. So, um, yeah, and then our attachment styles and all this stuff, all the things that could break down a human being um into like different parts, like it yeah it but it was so interesting because yeah, before I didn't really have to think about that. How did I get onto this, like, identity and stuff? I don't know, whatever. Oh yeah, yeah, because yeah, my initial I get curious about my initial personal reaction. Um, yeah. And I also think that came from what I spoke about on Friday, that I was born different. I mean, we were all born different, and the same at the same time. Oh, are you kidding me? I'm just going to like switch on to webcam because I don't think that's going to happen today. I don't understand why that's happening. I don't understand why that's happening at all. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry for yelling too. I'm sorry, yeah, for not the best view. I don't know, not as nicely colored, whatever. An angle. But yeah, so I can't believe that. Like, it was charging when like, it had the little plug thing. So weird. Sorry. ADHD, it's like now it's fixated. Like, I need to figure. Life of Chuck. Identity. Um, I was born embracing differences. Oh, it was just excellent. Shoot, did I screw it up? Oh my gosh. Can you hear me? Are we here? What is going on? Am I still freezing? Am I good? I am recording, so just so this doesn't go on forever because it might be one of those days. Um, I'm just going to like post the recording probably, which I hate, but hopefully, right now it says excellent, but I have like dropped frames and stuff. So, am I back? Now everything seems to be on the green. So, hopefully, I'm good. I don't know. I hate this. I don't know. Whatever. Still freezing. Ugh, that's so that's so weird. That is just so weird. All right. Well, but can you hear me all right? Or is that also kind of chopped? Let me know. So, yeah. Um, okay, good for me. Okay, awesome. Just cross your fingers, hold your fists. um, yeah, so yeah, because they gave me such a unique name, and so I embraced, yeah. So I came here in the US, I felt like a fish out of water, especially here in like where I am in the Midwest. I felt like a fish out of water more and more when I started working and stuff. But still, like even earlier on, I think I just had like a very resilient identity and shell or whatever, that it didn't bother me that I was different, because in Romania and my whole life up to that point, like it was okay. Like I came here speaking some English, speaking British English, and I don't remember it bothering me or feeling any kind of affected like by anyone laughing at me. I don't even remember people laughing at me. I'm sure they did, because I use like weird words, but yeah, like I was okay. But yeah, and then it hit in my 30s. Yeah, like as soon as I kind of turned 30. Anyways, but back to the point. Life of Chuck. So I don't want to give anything away, and it is impossible for me to review this movie without giving anything away. Um, please see it if you have a chance. If you have like coupons, whatever, please see it because it is it is just worth seeing. Like it's not even the adjectives that I could use to describe it because I think it's a movie that everyone would use different adjectives for. It's just a movie worth seeing. And it's a movie worth seeing without any preconceived notions, without any understanding of what it's about, or what it is. I mean, like, literally, I had nothing, no idea. I had, like, whatever slight idea from the trailer. And then I just, like, the movie started and I was like, I have no idea what's going on. Like I just like based on the trailer, there was nothing. I'm like, what am I watching? Am I watching like it was a different genre than I expected at the beginning, and then it changes. Um, it's just like one of those movies. I feel like this will be at least for this year one of the movies. Hi, oh my gosh, hi Lauren. I'm talking about Life of Chuck. We start with random things like movies that I watched. Um, but yeah, I'm like, it's like having like a celebrity on. Thank you for coming. I feel like really self conscious now and awkward. And like pressure, like, oh my gosh, do well, do better. But anyway, so it is, yeah, so the movie, it is like it's in my opinion the movie to see. Like if you see one movie this year, it's this movie. It's not like it didn't just like blow my mind or it was like whoa or like I was like super emotional through it or whatever. It just is worth seeing. I don't even know. I don't even know how else to say it because I'm trying so hard. Like I don't want you to have any idea what you're in for because it's just I don't know. I think it's better. It's yeah. I usually like say something about the movies, but this one is I just yeah. Please see it. Yeah. I don't get anything for it. I just I feel like on YouTube like I don't know why in my mind at least like I have to like reiterate that because people might assume that like oh I'm like saying that because everything's an ad now and everyone's like sponsored by someone or whatever um and yeah I don't have sponsors I just yeah but anyways yeah so yeah yeah it moved me so much I yeah oh my gosh I wish I could tell you so much more but I really can't um ooh Domino's pizza yeah I so growing up I don't know if you had Marco's pizza where you any of you grew up but Lauren because you mentioned pizza I hated it. I was like, what is this abomination of pizza that I didn't even have pizza before coming here? So, oh, the beacons. And then I was a Papa John's person. Okay. Yeah, no, I know. I I don't know. Is Domino's new? I feel like it's new. Yeah, I was a Papa John's and now I've turned. Marco's has like a very good tasting pizza. But I don't do pizza anymore, which is sad. I saw the Karate Kid movie last weekend or on Thursday, and I was inspired to get pizza. And then I got pizza from like Whole Foods, which so weird. Um, but I was at a Whole Foods. I saw pizza, the movie, so I got it. It's still in my fridge. I don't know. I don't know. I think it's the heat. I just don't feel like having like pizza right now. But anyways, I digress. Not that it's an unimportant topic, pizza. Also, my favorite pizza topping is mushrooms, and you might all not be happy with that. But yeah, at least it's not pineapple, which is like the controversial one. I don't mind pineapple. I think that I I had it just a few years ago. I think I don't know. Maybe I had it in high school. Someone um like recommended it, or I don't know. And yeah, I like it. Sometimes it's like really cool. It's like a refreshing, different, balanced flavor. I sometimes can be like Remy from Ratatouille. I combine the pronunciation of that, where it's like you bite. Uh, did he? What did he have? Kapshuna. Because right now my brain is so stressed out. I'm so excited that you're here, Lauren. So I'm like, um, strawberry, and then and it's like little fireworks, and then you bite the cheese, and then it's fireworks, and then you bite them together. It's like big fireworks. That's sometimes how I operate. Um, I love Ratatouille. Um, I wouldn't recommend that one too, but that was an old one. Um, Hi, Humanity in Crisis. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I might. Now I feel bad. Like, I feel like I'm going to disappoint people because it's one of those days where I don't know if I have enough for everyone's, um, what do you call it? That's a good question, though. Expectations. But yeah, who is this new character? I feel like he's turning into being someone that's like on Friday. I looked, and unlike you, Lauren, I got overwhelmed by all the filings, and so I was like glancing. I was like, oh, I kind of don't get this, or I get this. I mentioned him, and then yeah, he's turning into like quite the controversy, and like I'm starting to feel or fear that he might be one of those like technical pieces that can get Blake Lively a win for this case, or like whatever. I don't know if it goes beyond the Leslie Sloan thing. But yeah, so anyways, but yeah, so Life of Chuck, highly recommend. Please go watch it. um don't look it up. Don't um don't look it up. Watch the trailer though, because I feel like watching the trailer was like really cool. But yes, super cool. Okay, so I'll say one thing. This is how like I'm so like freaked out right now that I can't. Karen Gillan. Oh my gosh. She is. I know her from Doctor Who, and Karen Gillan. Yes, Gillan, and she's Scottish. And there's a scene where she has a scene partner that is British, and I. This is this is how little I have. Hi. Um, that I wondered if she felt like not cheated, but like just frustrated that he could speak in his British accent and she couldn't speak in her Scottish accent, which is, yeah, that's a whole other thing. But yeah, that was so stupid. That was a stupid thing, but to me that was like one of the things that I like thought of earlier on, because she's in the first part of the movie. Already gave too much away. Okay. Yeah. And then I guess because like I feel pressure to just like move on at least to the news of it or whatever. I'll read an excerpt of this later. I'll close with this, but this is the Awakened Brain. I don't read Hello ADG or whatever. I don't know, and eyesight issues. Like it's just frustrating for me to read, but I was recommended. This is one of the books that I was recommended. Well, no, the book that I was recommended by my therapist, and then I had some other books. I don't know, and there's something really cool about it that I'll talk about later. Well, I guess I can also just mention it now. This this I don't know. I would pronounce it dysthemia, but I don't know, Romanian. Um, but I didn't know about that, and it made me think. And I'll just like mention that, like it made me think of how many times we use these like the shortcut words to like, we say gaslight even when we mean like things like just manipulation or whatever. We just like have adopted this word gaslight. We've adopted the word narcissist for just all encompassing white stroke brush and all this stuff. And there's like all of these tiny little words that mean something much more specific to what we're saying or what we're experiencing that doesn't seem to get through. This being one, it is the low grade feeling that life is unfulfilling. It is. It feels like emptiness and hunger, disillusionment. Life is not what you'd hoped. So that's actually part of the quote that I was going to read. Um, yeah, I felt like that. And I was like, well, it must be depression. But it was like different. And I was like, maybe it's burnout. And now it's this. And so, yeah. But, anyways, I'll end with that. I'll move on to, oh gosh, I feel like I just want to crawl in a hole because I feel like I'm going to be such a big disappointment when it comes to this. Um, I'm not as prepared as I was with Leslie Dobson video on Friday. Um, Before we get to that too, um, Iran, which the 90-day fiance guy that is from Iran, he he had a story the other day saying like why are people calling it Iran? And a family friend called it Iran today. My mom was listening to them, and I was like, they should really know better. But anyways, but yeah, so that happened. That happened more. That keeps happening. I don't know. Someone tell me that. Um, okay, enjoy. Bacon. You're eating bacon. Or pizza. Pizza with bacon. I love pizza with bacon and mushrooms. Maybe not at the same time. I don't know. But yeah. So yeah. The world is kind of blowing up. When I read this, I think it was what, Sunday night or Saturday night, right? And I was like, what the heck? When we're like, oh, we're Trump is thinking about what to do this in the coming weeks, and then boom, that happened. And now there was a post that I saw on Instagram where they're like, I think Qatar was saying that this was like unwarranted attack or whatever. I'm like, really? Do we have bacon? Do we have anything that's unwarranted at this point in the Middle East, and not just the Middle East, but all of that, region of the world? Because I feel like, first of all, if anything was unwarranted, I feel like it was the initial attack by Israel on, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Hi CJ. Hi again. So yeah, oh gosh. I'm like torn. Um yeah, I'll just like I'll try to be myself, and then yeah. And sorry for the weird camera issues. Um Sorry. Yep, that's why I had it there. Okay. Well, there we go. It's an interesting night. Um Hi Erica, welcome. Sorry. All right. So I'll get to that. I know, I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh, I feel this is like, it's worse because I'm just more talking about like being torn and being in, like, in between two places, and I'm like, it's just really hard to like just do me right now. But okay. Anyways, let's just get into this, the Blake Lively thing, and then I'll talk about the news. I also have like this really cool thing that I found out about Seoul, North Korea, South Korea. Hello, brain. Um, and just like different news that I'll talk about after. But yeah, anyways, oh my gosh, my goodness. Um, this is not the time. Okay. Oh, yeah. I just want to be swallowed by the earth right now because I'm doing such a terrible job. All right. So, yeah, no amended complaint. I just said that, but it's in my notes. I'm just going to refresh it. But I think Lauren will know of it first because she's on Pacer. She has that. You know, sometimes things come in like even a day later on Court Listener now. And then haven't heard anything about the deposition. And then there was an article or like an audio interview. I don't know why I didn't search for this. Between Megan Twohey and Ari Shapiro, and that was thank you, Maria. I don't know. Um, beyond this waiting for this. Okay, Google AI is sometimes just missing the point completely. It's a search discovered Megan Twohey and Ari Shapiro are journalists, not a couple. I'm like, I never said they were. Why would it give me that? I was just looking for the interview. What? Gosh. Anyways, yeah. And then I just watched Elsie's. My gosh. I for everyone that's like new here, I really do much better than I'm doing right now. This was not just like this is the like flusteredness of everyone new being here and Lauren specifically being here, but it's also because today was going to be a rough one anyway. So but yeah, what? The fall of Syria's dictatorship ripples out to one family in Toledo, Ohio. I just clicked on NPR. That's random. Um, okay, this is not. What the heck? I mean, that's like Ari Shapiro's thing. Interviews or whatever, articles. Uh, okay. Anyways, so yeah, so everyone's talking about this interview and about things like how Blake told her. To, when I heard that and everyone's like, oh, will this change things? Wouldn't it just go under the same issue that the current issue was regarding? Did that make sense? No. That it's kind of protected, whether she like had an actual conversation, sat down with Megan Twohey and had a conversation about this article that was coming up, and that because the judge basically said like even if this was months prior, like she has kind of a right under California law or whatever, um, to do so, to like prepare this or to put it out there. And so I feel like her talking to Megan Twohey directly goes under that. I don't think it's anything that's like different that is, you know, uh, changes anything or that the Wayfair can do anything different about it. I think that's just like a moot point based on the judge, at least like without a request for not amendment. What is it? Appeal. That's just I don't know. To me, that's like my opinion. That just goes under the same reasoning of, well, Blake could work with them on this article because it's in her right to speak out about SH stuff under this law or whatever. Um, so yeah, so that kind of happened. I just was watching Lauren's earlier video that, because I opened this. Oh, sorry. I opened this, whichever wherever. Where are you? Was it this one? No, this one. Well, I opened all of these latest ones and then saw that Leslie Sohn is asking for money for her attorney fees and all that stuff. And I don't know that I have even the document that Lauren read from, but yeah, she's like, okay, now that we're dismissed, we're gone or whatever, uh it must mean that we can get these fees because we were brought into this, just for like show basically and stuff. And so that's like something. Um, was it here? No, it wasn't here. This I didn't see. This wasn't here before, or it wasn't open to me before. Prosemovant. Yeah, me and this is like weird pronunciation. Brett Douglas McDowell respectfully submits this motion for reconsideration of the court's June 10th, 2025 order denying his prior motion to intervene pursuant to federal court. Okay. Um, if the court reviewed or had access to the Wayfarer party's initial disclosures as early as June 10, or was otherwise aware of the identities of key witnesses through pen. Sorry, I didn't see this before. It would have been in a position to recognize that Mr. McDowell's concerns were not moot or speculative, but directly implicated by the current scope of discovery. The presence of witnesses like Ryan Reynolds and Leslie Sloan, as well as the inclusion of NICEPOL related materials in the evolving discovery plan, strongly supports the argument that Movans, I don't know, Movens interests were and remain substantially at risk of impairment without an opportunity to participate. The Wayfarer party's June 17 disclosure, but isn't this also a moot point? Because nice pool stuff was thrown out. Served months after Moan's February filing. Confirmed that nice pool character remains relevant to discovery despite the court's earlier conclusion to the country. This also reinforces. I'm so confused. Might be because I'm not doing, I'm not an A+ student lately. And so probably there's holes in my understanding of what's going on. But interesting. Oh, this is a long one. What? Mr. McDowell's sealed motion was also flagged the potential involvement of key figures now disclosed as witnesses. I don't know who this guy is. I'll get back to that. I just want to do, gosh. Get to, no, that was the same thing, sorry. I'm curious about the exhibits. I'm like such an exhibit person. Ooh, that's so cool, scripts. Yeah. I'm a wolf. I cannot look at this dog. I'm so sorry. So I'm so lost. I missed a bunch. Wait, this guy looks familiar. I don't know. All right. Okay. Yeah, missed that whole thing. So I think maybe this is the long one that I didn't read because I'm not an A+ student. I'm like a B, maybe B+. Sometimes I'm an A. Where Leslie Song goes into, give us all this money. What was it? 1.2 million or something. I can't believe they're talking in like millions. Like, it was like not fun, but whatever, hearing 400 million. But when you really think about it, it's like, what, what, yeah, I get like $400 a week. Okay, so no, that was the same thing. It is so hard. I need, yeah, this is the one that I included on my thumbnail. I need color coding for these filings. So the thing with this filing, because yeah, I didn't really read that, but I saw this, and again, without a crystal ball, I think pointed this out, and I don't know, like how can this be acceptable in court, or maybe the court doesn't care how it was obtained or whatever. Maybe that's like something later that they can, fight about. But the screenshot again says today at 3:02 p.m. that um James Vituscka or whatever. Was it like a different subpoena? Did they? I think they subpoenaed, but it didn't go through. I don't know. Anyways, the screenshot, like, did they have access to that because they were having access to Jen Evil's phone until that, recently? I don't know. I feel now I'm questioning myself. Was there a subpoena? Because I feel like he kept fighting it, and the whole thing recently was that he was saying, this Vituscka guy was saying that there was no, like he, what was he saying? Oh man, now I'm questioning everything that I can think that I learned or whatever. Was it this one? No, this is like, because at one point he switched lawyers, which was definitely interesting. Was it that? No, that was the lawyers. Like, did they get the actual subpoena or not? Yeah, it is. Something is off with that dude. Yeah, it is definitely something. Oh, wow. It goes all the way here. Yeah, motion by Sloan parties to compel James Vituscka to produce documents has been withdrawn. So that was June 9th. So again, that text message that they have must have been. Let me look because I have an Apple. What does this look like? I always get confused, like So it's like me. So it's like his screenshot, which of course, like you say, you see Brian there. So if they withdrew, their like motion to compel him to produce documents and things for discovery, then why do they have the screenshot? How did they get the screenshot? And also, this is not Apple. I'm so confused. This screenshot was sent to them by him. Like, he sent them the screenshot? What is up with this guy, indeed? Um, Sorry, let me, like, catch up with the chat, also. Thank you, Maria. Yeah, I was going to say, like, please, consider clicking that like button, subscribe, whatever. But I also feel like this is not the best representation of of me right now, and you might not feel like I deserve the like or the subscribe. So I just didn't say it, but I appreciate you sharing that, Maria, with everyone. Consider it. Consider coming back and trying, Friday. I'm on here Monday and Friday. And consider like last Friday, check last Friday's, and then if you like last Friday, then that's kind of more what we're about here. Um, and I feel like the judge dismissed Baldoni's suit to protect the legacy of the New York Times and had to take out part of the case against Blake to do so. So I don't think it changes anything but that. That is just my opinion. Yeah. Um, Yeah, I mean, fair enough with news and news channels. Although, what does that even mean right now? It doesn't mean anything right now. This is bothering me. Um, but yeah, I don't know what you shared, but I oh I just clicked it. Oh, just my channel. Awesome, thank you. I was going to say I don't know what you shared, Maria, but I not condone it. What do you call it? I whatever. All right. Anyway. Oh gosh, I suck. I think so too. She wishes he is a journalist for the Daily Mail. Yeah, that I know. and was doing articles on the lawsuit. So not sure how he doesn't want to be a part of this saga doing that. Yeah. Um, yeah. I'm already subscribed. The Leslie Dobson one was good. Oh, thank you so much, CJ. Yeah. Um, oh, I'm on 220. Yay. Okay, sorry. Digressing. Yeah, so and then who was it? Was it Kirsty? Oh gosh, I always forget who I see. Because sometimes I just kind of cram it all in. Um, but yeah, so someone, probably Kirsty is where I saw it. Not that we were all saying it eventually. But sorry, ahead of it. Um, he got rid of three lawyers, and which she pointed out whoever it was. I'm pretty sure it was a she, because Porn Planet and Dave are the only ones that I watch that are male, and then I don't think that it was either of them. But it was odd that he needed three lawyers. Although, like, were the lawyers just like automatic from the Daily Mail? Were they just Daily Mail lawyers, and then a reporter of theirs got, or someone who writes for them, whatever you call it, writer, um, he got in legal something, maybe not trouble, but like he got on put on standby legally for a case, and so they were called upon, just like as a standard procedure. But suddenly he was like by those three lawyers. Hello. um Brian Friedman's friend's law firm lawyer. Brian Friedman's BFF. Although I think it's also that guy from TMZ, Harvey or whatever. They're BFFs or whatever. And that's odd too. And then that's what I was trying to find, because I remember thinking or seeing somewhere, hearing something. I don't know. I think on Friday, whatever I read was something about, like, he had said that Leslie Sloan didn't. It was just on him. Like, she never said those words or whatever. He just kind of took it upon himself to say those words, which, I mean, I don't know. That I believe either way, like, journalists, whatever. It's not like he's working for, like, I don't even know what good good, like, newspaper, media channel, whatever, even NPR. I guess NPR I would have still high standards for. So it's not like he's working for NPR, fact checking and like really being true to the words and all that stuff. And probably NPR also isn't. I don't know anymore. But he yeah, he made an affidavit saying Leslie didn't say any of the stuff he said to waive her side. But he initially said it, and blah blah blah. Oh, so was this the article that, I don't know why I didn't think of this. That came out after the dance was released. That's it, right? Um, Daily Mail. This will be like forever. Boy. When was that? Was it in February or something? Yeah, that I feel like that was the first. I don't remember, but it was, yeah, it was quoted as like a source from, it was like not even a source from Lake Lively. It was quoted that her legal team was saying that. Um I'm so bad at research, but now I'm really like, I really want to know if this is the same one. Um Video. Let's try video. Put adding video on that. I think that was like in February. Sorry. Really, just really want to find this now. Who knows how deep this is buried at this point? Because there's been so much. Maybe it wasn't that. Maybe it was something else. But that was the first time that I remember seeing that word. And I think that was like when I was like, hold up. No, we need to stop this crap. And, you know, you're like clearly using these women. That's when I went on my rant. Back in the day, back in the January, February, March day or whatever. Um, uh, Deadline. It wasn't Deadline. I can't find it now. And I don't want to say like that was it, but my suspicion is that was probably it. Because I think it was a Daily Mail article. I don't know. But it was like the source was her legal team saying that um, he essayed her and not SH'd her. And suddenly it was like, whoa, like now, and they were talking about Darvo. That was the first time the Darvo thing popped up. Gosh, you suck. Google, you suck. Oh, gosh. Sorry, I can't type and talk at the same time. I've tried in the past, and then it's like I can only do one or the other. But I'm trying to find this article. This is my last chance. I'm gonna go to ChatGPT. Um, we'll see, because Google just, SEO'd and all that stuff gets in the way. It was Vogue. So January 16th. Huh. Okay. So, this wasn't the article. I don't know what, ChatGPT, take it with a grain of salt. This was the article that came up. I don't even remember this. Probably because, it's June 9th. But it's giving me like January 16th. Anyways, yeah, so yeah, interesting. Okay. Well, I mean, good, although that's, that quote is still there. Hi, P. Um, just like the camera and the Wi-Fi, I'm just going to try to like rip off the band-aid and just move on, even though like it's bothering me that I did not find the article. But anyway, so yeah, and the thing is, I don't know how to feel about that, because like I started saying, or I wasn't saying it very well. It's not right. It's not moral. It's not ethical. But do reporters always? I mean, that was a direct quote. So that, yeah, that's bad. But like, do reporters always? Do reporters never embellish or use like other words or whatever? Yeah, not that it's right or moral, ethical, or even legal to a certain point, like in this case probably. But yeah, he's lawyering up. That's why I'm like, is he going to hurt their case? Because even this message, yeah, I didn't even read the message, although I put it up here. This is hi Brian. This is James Vituscka or what, however. I need to make it clear that I do not want to be involved in this lawsuit in any capacity, which is such like a weird thing to say. That sounds really like how big of you, like how who do you think you are? Like you're not Taylor Swift, and Taylor Swift's like involved in this, and she doesn't want to be a part of it. So who are you? you know, being part of this suit or having any association with it, even if names are removed, will jeopardize my job and career. This is such a weird text. I'm sorry. This is like getting to me. Please ensure I am fully excluded and mention of Daily Mail in connection with myself before filing. Also, um, isn't that obstruction of justice kind of thing? If you're just like omitting someone that was very like you're just literally you're saying like this is what happened or this is what we received or whatever, and you're just omitting saying that this other person was involved in that, it, right? I don't know if like that the legal term or the whatever term of obstruction of justice is. I don't know if that's exactly what it is, but it sounds like it. Like you're literally he's asking them to like just not tell the truth. If the truth is if he's irrelevant to whatever they tell, um just to like keep his job and career. Like I think this is like applies to all of these people right now. To Blake, to Ryan, maybe not as much as Justin and Jamie and Jen Abel and Melissa Nathan. Like what, their career is not on the line, or in some cases kind of destroyed so far, um and their jobs and stuff, like so this just like is such, it bothers me so much reading this. Like who does he think he is? Who is this guy? It just sounds so entitled. Is he like a Gen Z or something that doesn't really know how things go? Probably not. But yeah, now, gosh, I still am thinking about that article. I'm still thinking about it. I had to look him up. He's definitely not Gen Z. This is him, I'm guessing. I mean, if this is him, I have like my own judgments. He does not look a good person. But yeah, all right. I don't know. Oh, sorry. Tangent. Elsie mentioned she did a video. Ari Shapiro married to Mike Gottlieb, but a different Mike Gottlieb than Blake Blake's lawyer, Michael Gottlieb. Anyways, I was unaware of that conversation altogether, but I saw her video. Um, but yeah, so yeah. Um, what is this one? But yeah, okay, well, this is him. I don't know. Yeah, that's he looks too old to have sent such a text message. Doesn't make sense. Yeah, I don't know. He seems trouble right now to everyone, really, to any party on either side. Um, yeah. I don't think, I don't know. I have like just creepy vibes from Leslie Sloan. Anytime I see her, like I just feel like she's, is the word unscrupulous the word? Yeah, I get creepy vibes from her. The fact that so I don't really feel like she wouldn't have said that word. Um, but she's also been doing this for a long time, so maybe she is more aware of words, and um, if she knew that this lawsuit was like not going away or whatever, or coming or whatever, whenever that happened, um, she could have been more careful to the words that she used. I don't know, um, but if he says that she didn't say it. If she says that she didn't say it, then what's the problem that we're in right now? Why does he need a lawyer? Why is she pushing? Is she pushing? I didn't see her push. What is going on that he's still relevant? Um, Anyways, the court will hold a hearing tomorrow. Yeah. Um, from Counsel for Lively Case and Koslow. I don't know. Counsel will participate by Teams video conference regarding these people, non-parties, um, and subpoena, which I'm guessing they are saying, hey, we don't need to be part of this. Is I'm guessing what the hearing is. Sorry. I'm trying to like figure more out about this guy. I don't remember where I saw what I saw. Um, Motion to seal, unseal, all these things. Still don't know where this guy popped up from, Brett Douglas McDowell, because I thought that was, I don't know, what am I missing? I'm missing Leslie Stone affidavit or whatever, that she didn't say things. The first time I discussed Miss Lively's SH allegations with a journalist was with Melissa Nathan's sister, Sarah Nathan, when she texted me on August 8th, 2024, saying she heard about 3 things that Justin Baldoni did on the set that were, in her words, all a bit creepy. Then on August 2024, Sarah Nathan forwarded me an anonymous tip that Page 6 had received, which said, among other things, that Justin Baldoni made Miss Lively uncomfortable on set. Like, it would just be really weird also for, like, who is she saying that? It just feels like a circular argument a little bit, because who else would need to say any of that besides Blake Lively's camp? I don't think that Justin Baldoni's camp, at that point especially, I think based on how he looked at that time, just physically, and how he's talked about it before this CRD complaint, and then after, what we know after from the CRD complaint and his counter complaint and all that stuff. um I think he just wanted to have this be over with and just get away from it and never have to talk about it, think about it, deal with it ever again. So I don't think that, but again, who knows? But it doesn't seem likely that his side would give anonymous tips unfavorable to him. Also, like, why would he do that? The only thing is like this conspiracy theory type of mindset that, well, so it's eventually going to be like justification for them to smear her or whatever. But that's just like stupid. Um, and so who else would give these tips besides Blake Lively's camp, who had interest in giving such tips? And then she's saying that like that she was told these. Um, so it's so hard to believe, but okay. As a result of the Wayfair Party's meritless claims against me, I have received an onslaught of public ridicule and intimidating messages. Boo hoo hoo. Blake Lively in her whole life has received probably more than you, so shush. My involvement in this litigation has caused me severe emotional, physical, and professional damage, blah, 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 whatever. I don't mean to be that insensitive, actually, but I am in this moment. Um, Shoot. This is the thing. I always forget which one. Um, okay, so this is the Bender person. Counsel to Blake Lively. Um, okay. Wasn't the Vituscka guy the? No, that was someone else, right? It was this one. It was this one, right? This one. Sorry, that they couldn't reach. That's why they're like proving. They're having all this proof. Like, we linked him. He's open to work, so we sent all these different ways of subpoenaing him because he's not answering like his phone or where he lives or anything. So all right, cool. So he's is it a man at large or whatever? Um, yeah. Um, okay, so this is the one where Thomas Sullivan withdraws counsel for non-party James Vituscka in this action. I have personal knowledge of the matters stated herein. Served a true and correct copy of motion to leave for withdrawal. Blah 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 blah. And Tina Glandian is like the new one. I don't even know why, in a way, we're bothering with him. Like, I don't know. Like I said, he looks like trouble. Trouble, trouble, trouble. Oh, it was a Taylor Swift quote. Pursuant to local civil rule, subject blah 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 blah. This is the one. Uh, why did you do that? I have that song stuck in my head. It's a really good song. I think I said it before. I think Taylor Swift should do or she should like try the rock genre now. Like actual rock. I'm sorry, no offense, but not like, you know, what's the band that she collaborated with? The band that wrote my songs Know What You Did in the Dark or whatever. Um I mean like actual rock like um Aerosmith. I don't know. That's just like again my opinion. So I went to that one. What is this one? I'm sorry. This is his declaration, right? We write regarding our pending motion to compel whatever. I, James Vituscka, declare as follows. I have personal knowledge of the facts for it, but I am the Daily Mail reporter that authored the text messages that appear at paragraph 193 in the Wayfarer Party's amended complaint in this action. In those text messages, my use of the phrase sexual. Oh, I remember now. I remember. Like, he was the one. Oh, he was the one that like they said like yeah okay we won't talk to reporters and then suddenly Sloan reached out to him because he reached out to her or something and she replied and yeah okay all right okay cool so this was before the whole CRD complaint and stuff okay in those text messages, my use of the word SA was a mistake. I meant to say SH. I regret this error. This phrase was not in reference to any conversation that I had with SA Sloan. Miss Sloan never told me that Miss Lively was SH'd or SA'd by Justin Meldon or anyone else. So how did he come to that? Hi, KD. Um, the date, I'll tell you the date. Um, no, yeah. Well, it's today, whatever that is. Um, it's suspicious no matter what day, because it's not today. Um, right? It's like at least a few months ago, and so I wonder if it's around this time, like early June. That's not a few months ago, but um, when did he come onto the docket? Let's see. Why can't I go directly there? All right. fine. May was the first one. All right. So, yeah, it had to be before June. But my issue was like what who like how did Leslie Stone have that screenshot? Why did he send his screenshot? Isn't that because that's like weird and suspicious to begin with? If he sent that screenshot to Leslie Stone, I might have said this already, but if he sent it, like, look what I told Brian, like, why would he do that? Ew. I don't, the more like I think about this guy, the more I'm just like not with it. Um, so hereby serves his response and objection to this subpoena to produce documents, information, or objects, blah blah blah. I mean, I guess he appeared in their complaint, but when he popped onto like his own, um, serves the right to assert additional objections to the subpoena as appropriate and to supplement. So, because the thing is, if he wrote that text message when he saw that he's in their amended complaint, now that I kind of put two and two together, then I know where he came from initially. Um, then he saw himself, he texted Brian that, like, hey, no, I don't want to be part of this. I don't want to be roped into this. Um, what did I want to say? Oh, and then like not Leslie, the other one. What's the other one? Man, like white women, white blonde women. What's the other one? The whatever. Jen Abel's boss. She had Jen's phone and iCloud account right until what, like May or something, or was it March? And or April, like it was like really late where she could read any communication. That wasn't one of them. They had, because of the blue, like that screenshot had to be sent to them somehow, or like cracked into it or whatever, because also it's like this weird thing. So yeah, it makes it then sound like he's working with Leslie Sloan more, or he was, because hey, like, see, I told them that I don't want to be involved. And so now the fact that he's saying, yeah, no, she never told me SH or SA, and Leslie saying, yeah, no. I mean, they had affidavits, but like, I feel like out of everyone, like, I'll believe Blake Lively's affidavits more than I believe Leslie Sloan's. And this is not a fact. This is my opinion. I don't know. That's just like my complete opinion, that I just don't feel like she would not stoop as low as lie under oath. I don't know. She just looks like that. Which is like really mean to say and really weird to say. And really, I feel really bad saying that. But sometimes I just say things and I'm not, my imperfect comes out. And I don't try to like be perfect in that moment, because yeah, I don't know. So like it just feels then to me that they're trying to say that she didn't say it. At this point too, I feel like potato SA Stephanie Jones, thank you on him. SH at this point is kind of like, yeah, that article with the dance, but see, that's the other one. I need to find this article. I need to find that article. Because that was the first time that I heard the SA thing. Um Was that on TMZ maybe? Well, sorry. I don't know if it goes off too. I also am curious now too. I'm going way back. Where was it? Is their website still on? Yeah. I forget which one had it. I'm guessing it was the other one. Hold on. I don't think, no, he's not there. So it was, I think this, yeah. So August 8th, 2024. Nathan's text to Sloan. Thank you. Have a safe flight. Just also, I'm not doing one thing without speaking to you. I'm not answering one email about the situation. I've told everyone to not do one thing, plant seed, even speak to one reporter, even on background. Now I am involved. There will be no shock surprises to you. Me neither, or me either. And then Daily Mail reporter have to talk about some stuff that came in from reporters Ree Blake and her new movie drama on plane like what. And again, I'll say like punctuation, like a tiny bit. Just try a little bit punctuation. Well, it's a lot to do text, but it's regarding probs. Probs. This guy. Probs on the set involving her and Justin Baldoni and fallout over that, with Blake being labeled difficult and a power struggle existing. I don't see SH or SA in here. That is 1000% untrue, these people with the thousands, but I don't want to go on record. Never on record. Your info is totally off. There is clearly something going on because it's cold from 3 reporters and none of them are me. Huh? Okay. Like I said, though the reporting is that there were issues between I don't miss reading this. Oh my gosh. That was such a pain reading all of these. There is clearly something going on. It all wrong. Oh yeah. I feel like I did the same mistake the first time around. Okay, I'm just being straight up with you because that is how I roll always. I'm coming to you because I actually like Blake and don't want Daily Mail to F with her. One of them said that Blake and Ryan insisted on rewriting the movie, and another that she got very opinionated over directorial issues, which now we know is completely true. Do you want to ring me when you land and I'll tell them that they need to hold off on anything for very opinionated over direction? No, not you. Stop, Siri. Go away. Siri, stop. Go. Stop. Okay. Do you want to ring me when you land? No one knows that we speak, just that you would read emails from me and respond. Yes, please, as thus info is all wrong. She didn't require script runs, nothing to do with this. She produced the film and got a cut. What the F is going on? The whole cast doesn't like Justin, nothing to do with Blake. Such lies. Sorry, I remember reading it. It was like so much, and now I'm like, that is so untrue. Sorry, I know this like was so, January ago. Like I said though, the reporting is that there were issues between her and Justin as well as others, and that Justin found it difficult to work with her. One of these reporters, known as close to Steph Jones, because they used to always get Tom Brady Giselle stuff, and Steph reps him, I believe. I told them she is awful and to not rely on anything she says. I'm telling you, she's a liar. They're panicking as the whole cast hates him. I promise she's lying. This is not. This will not look good for your site. The entire cat, whatever, blah 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 blah. Wait, I still don't see it. Was it some other guy? I don't see any SHSA. I mean, I guess it goes with the affidavit because that wasn't. I don't understand. I don't understand the problem right now. What is the problem? If he didn't, so in these screenshots, there was never the SASH whatever. Um, in their affidavits, it's not there. They're saying no, we neither of us said any of those words. Why does he need a lawyer? Why are we talking about him? Like, not. Of course, that had to happen because today wasn't bad enough. I was saying that it feels like a movie where, Leslie, they agreed that no one will talk about it, but then Leslie got this guy right after saying, hey, like, I'm hearing these stories, these claims. And she's like, oh, they must be talking about it, so I'll talk about it. And then, Jen, Melissa, whatever, they're saying the same thing, like, oh, they started talking, so they, we'll start talking. And then I was saying, yeah, of course there's like no oh, thank you. That's a very good call out, Peruvian Peach. I also like your name. Um I like that definitely got my attention. What do you call it? The emoji or whatever. Um thank you. So yeah, so of course there's no trust because these are PR people and all that stuff, which is sad. But um yeah. Yeah, I don't know if this is the guy. Let me see what you wrote. Rose is wild. But if this is the same guy, the picture and the way that he writes, yeah, he gets less and less likable for me. Excuse me, Vituscka somewhere, or Vituscka somewhere, told the Wayfarer side that Leslie said Blake essayed him, or was essayed by Justin. Wayfarer brought lawsuit that included Leslie Jones. Then Vituscka said he misspoke and Leslie never used it. Yeah, so let's call it a day. Cool. No one said anything. Blah 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 blah. Let's move on. That also was mooted by the judge saying these claims by. So why are we talking about it? Why did he have to fire lawyers and rehire another lawyer? Why is he still relevant? Um yeah. Sorry, I wasn't sure if she knew she yeah. No, I appreciate that. Like, yeah. Love that. That I just said, like, it just got my attention. Um okay, so yeah. TBD, unfortunately. Like, I need to know so much more. I don't know, like, is there another Daily Mail reporter thing? That's the only one I remember, but this, how many pages did this have? 300 or something. So, it could be more. Nathan, consistent with the Paris agreement, sends a text message to Sloan containing an email she had received from a Daily Mail reporter. I'm understanding the same reporter. Okay, so here's the. Oh, yeah. Maybe this is where it's at. It's not like we'll be able to read any of that. Why did they even include it? If they couldn't make this, you know, legible? Yeah, I was going to say readable. Um, sorry. I can't tell any of this. I don't see anything though SASH in here. I like how they like included this to be more legible than that, but it's completely not legible either. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, I mean it's about her taking over the movie or not or whatever, and then it goes into other things. So yeah, I don't. I just don't even see. I don't get it. I don't get it. Power struggle, 100,000% untrue, blah, 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 blah. This is more. Sorry, I get into that hyperfixation or whatever. Um, Daily Mail reporter informed Nathan that Sloan had lied to portray Baldoni as the foe. Oh, there. This is. Yet still, Sloan escalated the false narrative by telling the reporter that Blake was essayed an unsubstantiated accusation that not even Lively had gone so far as to claim, designed to destroy Baldoni and his reputation. Do we see that? She said the whole. Oh, wait. She said the whole cast hits Justin. This has nothing. People with your typos hates Justin. This has nothing to do with Blake. And now she's saying that Blake was essayed. Why wouldn't she say anything about that then? She knows she is full of it. So this is whoever, what's her name? Melissa's maybe messages. Um, like I said, something, something, something. I'm just like trying to see if anything looks like SH or anything. And I don't see any SA or SH. So was this like a telephone game of telephone where somehow what was even the point of saying those words? If yeah, Arnaldo, interesting. She got that from somewhere. Did she make that up? Why would she make it up? Was it like from other conversations so they knew what was coming if there was coming something, if there was something coming? um and then because yeah, I mean this is so impossible to read, but I don't see sh or s anything in here either. um so if they have that though, if they have where he said this, um Why don't we see that? Because he's saying that he said it, that just like Leslie didn't say it, that he just kind of used that word. So, I mean, they're not at fault. So, okay, anyways, all right. I feel like, it's just like fun to go down these rabbit holes, but at the same time, now I feel like, huh, that kind of led nowhere, or like just kind not it didn't lead nowhere. I mean, we had fun, or I had fun. I don't know, maybe not fun, but it was interesting to like go down and read all of these things. But it feels that empty, like, okay, so what's even the struggle? What's even the fight right now? There is no fight. There's Everyone's agreeing that like that yeah, like why is he still here? I don't know. Yeah. Also, thank you so much for like, I have 223 subscribers. I know that's like such like tiny potatoes compared to like pretty much any influencer. I'm not an influencer, no one is that I watch, but content creator. I'm just so used to saying the word influencer and hating myself for it. But yeah, like I know it's like everyone's like, let's hit that like 10,000 subscribers goal, and I'm over here like, yes, I got 3 subscribers. But I appreciate it, especially with tonight, because I am struggling tonight. I am This is one, not, is it my worst, guys? I don't know. I feel like it is, but I might just be biased. It might not be my worst, but it's definitely in the lower tier of my lives, of my streams. That was another weird thing. He included text from different conversations, but not from the conversation he reported to Friedman. Yeah. As in, he didn't include the Leslie conversation where she said Blake made an SH claim either. Yeah. Well, there was a lot that wasn't included on both sides, I feel. Um, Interesting thing is Dr. Leslie Dobson also at the same time was claiming that 3 people on set were essayed by Justin. Oh my gosh. She had those fake HR claims before they hit here on YouTube. I was gonna say, did she make those up? Was she the one that made those? I remember those. So it was odd that multiple sources had changed to the term essay at the same time. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I remember, and I couldn't freaking find that article, but I remember that article somewhere. Um I don't remember when it was, but it was right after that video hit. So frustrating right now that I can't find it. Um I'm gonna try one more time because it had to be around February or January, right? Because that's when we saw that whole thing. Actually, I think I know a better way to find it. Um, I don't know if that was. I think that was a video, not a short, that I did of that because I was like, people. Um, Vlogmas. Oh my gosh, I did Vlogmas my own way. I don't know if I did it any other way. Um, Gag order. Huh. Where was it? Was it alive? Maybe it was alive. And sorry about my. I am feeling much better, guys, too. So much better. Um, did my video disappear? Huh. And here I thought this was going to be an easier way to find that. But I might have been wrong because it was before the SNL thing. Hmm. I know. I don't think that videos disappear. I think they just get like just taken down from the public. I think I found it. Hold on, let's see. Are we being gaslit by her team? Because that's how it feels like. At this point with this statement, I'm seriously asking the question. So they started it, they don't want to finish it in public. What does that tell you? That's number one. Who focuses on misleading media narratives? January 22nd. They also know that Baldoni was the one in position of power. False. Misleading. Completely misleading. Playing. Okay, so that was January 22nd. So it was like around January that good night, sorry, good night, Rose is Wild. It was around January 22nd when that happened, that SA kind of turn. I guess I missed it in the amended complaint, but again, however many pages that was a lot to read. And so yeah, I think that was the one that took me 10 hours. 10 hours and like 3 days to read the whole thing. And it's up on the YouTube in like all its glorious non-color. It's a mess anyways. So I missed that. The first one was around January that I remember, the essay, and then other people started talking about essay and those claims and all the stuff. So yeah, which I mean, in fairness, I probably would have, not. I remember like my outrage with that was not so much the terminology, although that was also something. It was more that she was calling on women, and I just felt so like that is such a wrong thing to do. It's so unethical, so messed up. And that's what, sorry about that. That's when I was like calling out. But I guess like SA and SH, I didn't really know the difference between before this trial, before Shirley had that one. I think she was either just a writer or a psychologist writer or something that talked about the difference between the two. And so yeah, like I probably am not in the minority necessarily to know the difference, or like you kind of know the difference, or it sounds like more when you pay attention to it, but you might not pay attention to it that much. So maybe that's like kind of what happened to them too, to like James and whatever, but I still don't like him. So yeah, interesting. What was I saying though? Oh yeah, the SH claims that were passed on. I this week, although things might happen on the docket that are a bit more like crazy, and maybe some of these are crazy, I don't know. I'm gonna do more of a deep dive on Leslie, and do more on Friday around her. Yeah, I think just again from it just like drives me crazy more than the what's her ofidoki type of people and stuff, because it's psychology. And to me, like I said, the whole reason I wanted to go back to get the actual degree, and also the reason that I wanted to become a coach, was to like kind of just help stop the TikTok psychology that was just potentially having real dire consequences for people, that like I mean like alive type of consequences, because you don't mess with psychology, and so many people do and just spit out whatever. But it's one thing when just people are saying it, and maybe not everyone can discern between just a random TikToker that says, oh, I have experience, blah, blah, blah. But when you're presenting yourself as a doctor of psychology, as not a PhD beside D, whatever, as a therapist or forensic psychologist or whatever, and you present yourself to have that authority, people will listen even more to you. And I mean, it doesn't take that long, and it doesn't take whether or not you're for Justin or for Blake to hear. You just need to know a little bit of psychology to know that what she says is so wrong. I don't know. So, yeah, so I'll do more research on her for Friday. Oh, gosh. This is a crazy, crazy person over there. Um, yeah, and I'm gonna stay more on top of these complaints and things. So for now, where was this? Oh yeah, this is the guy. Cool. Um, yeah, for now, I'm going to move over to just general news. And here we are, short of midnight. We'll probably make it to midnight, but again, I don't think that I'll see the affidavit, the amended complaint right away. Um, but yeah, we might not. Yeah, we might not hit midnight. I'm also trying to be more mindful on Mondays, because it's Monday and yeah, work day. So Iran, I don't know. I'm just upset at all of this. I just feel like this didn't need to happen. Oh, hi, Dr. J. Royster. Um, it's an expert opinion and it's against our ethics to diagnose anyone without treating them. Yeah, and then if we treat them, we aren't allowed to discuss anything without a release. I was shocked. Yeah, that was another thing. Yeah, I don't know if you know Dr. Kirk Honda on YouTube. Love him. Um, welcome. Um, and yeah, like he is always adamant because he does reaction videos too. He used to do 90 Day Fiance and that universe, and now he does Sister Wives and other ones. And he always says, like, this is a jumping off point for discussion. This is not me diagnosing these people, because, like, I don't know them. So, yeah, Dr. Grant, I don't know that. I enjoy watching those who do it correctly. Yeah, yeah. I'll have to look her or him up. Um, so, I mean, like, because I'll forget. Um, Dr. Todd Grund. Um, yeah, like I love that. Yeah, and you're right. When psychologists like are truly on here, on YouTube, I've learned so much from Dr. Kirkhanda. I learned so much about friendships. I learned so much, like, I just got nice, healthy modeling about friendships, about relationships. I got more compassion. I got also more understanding of, like, just healthy boundaries and the differentiation between boundaries and, like, other things. And yeah, we need that. We need psychologists that are ethical, that speak up about things. Yeah, it's a lot. She's a lot. Then that's what people were saying. Oh, she switched from saying that she was a forensic psychologist or whatever to saying that she was an influencer or something. So she's not what I so far have learned. She's not um practicing in any kind of way. Um, and she's just, gosh, if you didn't watch my live, I'll have on Friday. I will have the shortened version, which is just really taking out the ums and pauses and stuff. I'll have the shorter version hopefully tomorrow. Dr. J. Royster. Um, and yeah, like, she doesn't seem to be registered for the APA and with the APA, and just very questionable approaches to even being on the witness stand. Like, that was just like too much for me. That, I mean, she didn't say that she would lie. She just said that she would say things that even though they would be stricken, she's like, well, at least I said them. You can't unhear what you heard. You can't, like, on, the jury already heard it. So I was like, this is the person that might be on stand for Blake and all that stuff, that is just so reckless. Reckless is the word with what she's saying. She's not a credible authority. Like, it's crazy. Which I don't know if they can like do that before the trial, just kind of check her out, like check her off, cross her off as not a credible, not witness, but yeah, forensic psychologist. I don't know. And yeah, with licensure, I know I learned like that was so. I just did one semester of marriage and family therapy, and then I would have done more, but it was just long story. And I remember just over and over and over again being like shown and taken to um mm, I don't know, the guidelines of the ethical guidelines or whatever. And then it was like I think the APA ones, and then just specific to marriage and family therapy or what. Like I don't remember much because this was a couple years ago, and I don't know. But like, yeah, like she seems to, and from that interview, that podcast episode, she seems to have just said, screw it. I just want to be myself, and say whatever I feel like it. And just, um, she just gives more opinion than anything. And she also, I literally reading this book, sorry, I'm gonna switch to this for a second. Reading this book, literally, she talks. This I think the chapter, first episode, first chapter talks about um how, like healing someone. So this is like a therapist that, because Dr. Leslie Dobson wanted to work in the LA County Jail, but not to heal people, just to like make sure they stayed there, is what it sounded like at the end of the day. And this is like, reading this like sense, it was so illuminating. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, you go in and you become a therapist to help people. They're people who just do it for whatever, for, clout, for money, for whatever, just like any profession. It seems like Leslie Dobson isn't definitely, she doesn't seem like the type of person that went to do all of that psychology, because she has so many degrees in psychology, but somehow it's not to help people, it's to like be judgmental of people. Like, she didn't do her own inner work. She didn't like heal herself before trying to go out there and be a psychologist or whatever she wants to be. um and it shows, and it's so destructive and detrimental to anyone who hears her on these like big platforms. She'll have like, she was saying that she has HBO and all these shows coming up, all this stuff like, what's that word? This thymia, whatever that that's what it feels like. Like, I'm just so overwhelmed. Like, there's just too much bad. We can't like scratch the surface to make the difference. There's just too much bad. I don't think that's like, technically the same word, but yeah. And also, thank you. I kind of skipped a little bit through, because you said that you admire what I do, um, and it's difficult. Yeah, I don't know exactly. I mean, for sure it shows today. Um, I feel like an imposter reading that though, because I feel like I'm not doing as much as I could or should. So, but I appreciate that, or I'm trying to take it in and appreciate it. And thank you. With licensure, you have to be very careful. I don't know. There are several boards you have. Um, yeah, yeah. Um, ACA are associations that have codes of ethics. The boards are where you acquire licensure. Okay, yeah, yeah. This themia. How am I pronouncing it right? This themia or this thymia, or how do you pronounce it in English? And thank you. Um, so I guess like I want to talk, because we're talking about her, and I love psychology. So I'll switch to this. I feel so weird because I'm so not a book person, and I'm like, let me bring out my book. I only have like a little excerpt to read from this, and then I'll end it sadly on just a quick overview of how the world is there's things I want to say, but I can't say them yet. But yeah, how the world is really just not going in a good direction. Just, oh boy. But yeah, so there's this book. She, Lissa Miller, PhD. Um, she I'm at the beginning. She starts off with how they studied spirituality in terms of depression and how they saw brain scans showing that there is a physical correlation between people who for whom spirituality is really important or whatever, and for whom spirituality is not important. And then we go into flashbacks. So I have no idea. This is a really interesting book because I was expecting a little bit more like a workbook, or not a workbook, but and this is really written really like a novel kind of thing. And so she goes into how she started as like out of college at this, I think she calls it Word 6 or something in New York. And um, she was noticing how instead of healing people, they were just kind of admitting people, having them there, medicating them or something, having them relive their trauma by asking, like, let's like revisit that moment, let's revisit it again, as if like revisiting the moment enough would heal the person. And then she felt like, I don't know about that. And so she had these like moments of like feeling like maybe it's not the best what she was observing at different points. Anyways, and then so this part with this themia, this thymia, thigh, okay. Um this this thymia. Uh no, I'm self-conscious about that. But yeah, so um how did this start? Oh, yeah. So, um, someone passed away in their group, um, not like willing, not, whatever. And felt like it was probably because she got overwhelmed by her memories or it kind of caught up to her or whatever. And then this other patient asked, like, are we going to do anything? They're Jewish, or a lot of them are Jewish. So they're talking about not Rosh Hashanah, whatever this uh Yom Kippur, Yom Kippur, I don't know. And the other staff was like, no, we're not doing anything, we have nothing planned. And he's like, nothing. And so she then cuts to her going on the subway and just noticing how everyone just kind of looks like they have something going on that's like heavy. And so she starts talking about this clinical term for this for sorry, they looked so dissatisfied and burdened and checked out, as if the weight of the world bore down on them and something vital was missing. Even people that seemed in good health and appeared to have homes and money and had like department store bags and all these things, even those people looked that way. The clinical term for this is dysthymia. The low grade feeling that life is unfulfilling. It feels like emptiness, hunger, disillusionment. Life is not what you'd hoped. It's a less severe version of what I saw every day on the inpatient ward: alienation, isolation, futility, darkness. And it's what I recognized in my husband and many of our friends. We were young, in our 20s, full of energy and professional drive, committed to living and working in a way that contributed to the world. But sometimes the rush and buzz of our day to day felt more like a treadmill than calling. Um, and how, like, especially her husband was, sorry, hated the elevator ride. It felt like he was at a law firm. He was going into this like 2D like set of an office, like a movie set type of thing rather than an actual office. It looked adequate from far away, but up close the whole thing was fake. and terribly lonely. I was like, man, this is like how I've been feeling in so many ways recently. And what I feel like I shouldn't say this in a way because, um, yeah, job applications and stuff. But um, why, like a couple of weeks ago or so, every inch of me just did not want to go back to an office job. First of all, because I'm mismatched in my office job setting. Like I even if I wasn't or I will never make it as far as like a creative person, um I think and reading this book reunited my flame for psychology. And I think that like if I missed a calling, it probably was that, because I loved psychology so much so early on, and I just freaked out in college and I regretted it. And that's why I had gone back for marriage and family therapy. But then it was just not a great program for me. And probably also not like the best time. I don't know. And so yeah, so it kind of made me feel a little sad actually starting reading this book, like, oh, did I miss it? um but yeah, but besides that, like I felt like this, like it's just like everything's like not fake but meaningless kind of thing. um and then to hear and to read that these people were young. I'm not young, I'm not in my 20s. They were young, they had energy, they had that, starter drive, professional drive, calling drive, whatever, and they still felt this way. um and then how like almost every sentence began, if I can just make it through XYZ, then I can advance, then I can rest, then I can be happy. And this was like I think in the 90s, so nothing's changed. Hmm. Nothing's changed is what I'm reading. Amongst the successful friends who had the educations, and also I read The Power of Now. Um, I don't know if anyone was going to comment that at all, but I've read that and it's nice in the moment. And then it kind of wears off, or you're like, so what else? Or like, what now? Or I don't know. It's like it gives you an insight, and it gives a lot of these things I feel are like, ooh, like with the attachment theory. When I started learning about that, and I was like, oh my gosh, this explains so much about this, why I do that, why, I mean, it really was invaluable. But then it's like, but then what? And she actually addresses this, and I'm so like so curious to read the whole thing, because she addresses, or she seems to be in the future addressing exactly that, like because she's starting off with like this, just giving people medication or having them relive the traumas or whatever in order to like heal, in order to like heal the symptoms or hide the symptoms, manage the symptoms, or heal the person, heal the trauma, whatever. And it doesn't seem like it's doing anything except for like maybe just torturing the person. And it's not, I don't think she's saying just don't think about that. I don't know. I haven't gotten to the solution, but I don't think that's the reason either. I think knowledge is power, and I think knowing and being understanding of like, oh, that's why I'm this way, or why I think this way, or why I act this way, or why I react this way, or overreact, etc. But the key is probably not in just like thinking about it. I mean, speaking from personal experience, I thought about it a lot. It's like at one point you hit this wall. It's like, but this is not doing anything. It's not changing, and you feel this themia, dysthymia. Okay, so among successful friends who had educations, opportunities, jobs, friends, and romantic partners they'd always wanted, it seemed from our conversations that there was still an emptiness, a near constant craving, a sense that life was not a mean sorry, as meaningful or joyful as it might have been, as though we were on a never ending staircase toward fulfillment, happiness always just out of reach. The suffering in the world seems so pervasive and relentless. And that's kind of, I mean, she ends with another one, but that's like more of a call back to the earlier part of the chapter. But I don't know if it speaks to anyone, but it really spoke to me, and I wanted to share because um the world is going in the opposite of like hopeful and bright and happy and giving you a sense of empowerment, like we can do this, we can have control over our fate kind of thing. And not having that can feel so heavy. And I talked about with Blake Lively and constantly saying how she is the voice for victims and for women who can't speak up about their SH or SA or traumas or whatever. And the one thing that stood out to me personally when I heard that was these women already, you're saying that they don't have a voice, you're taking their voice away, you're inputting your voice. That's not helping them. And there's a high chance, I feel, or maybe a low chance, I don't know, there's a chance that you're re traumatizing them, because being voiceless, not being seen and heard, is kind of almost at the building block of being a human. And so, if you're not seen and heard for your opinion, for your voice, for your perception, and with Lauren, like she has all those voices of women that have been through SH and SA and other traumas that are like, no, and narcissistic abuse and all this stuff that are no, like we stand for Justin. We stand with Justin. We like support him. And I don't know, I feel like that's so cruel to say like, no, I'm speaking for you. I'm going to speak for you. You don't know what's good for you. I know what's good for you. That's like one of like the basic traumas as I feel like children. Like let the parent, like you don't have a voice, you don't have authority because you're just the child. And then just like when abusive relationships, I feel like oftentimes, or some of them, are exactly based on that. Like you don't have your own voice and your own authority over yourself, your body, your time, your anything. So that's like, I guess I wasn't really reading it with that in mind, but as soon as I read it to you guys and I started down that path, it reminded me of that, how much that got to me. Um, and this feeling, like she describes, of like everything's just too heavy, it's too unsurmountable of a burden or something to change. Like there's just too much negative. And to go into, news, talk about voicelessness. So many people protesting. I saw, actually, let me see if I can pull up, if I can find Bernie Sanders, because his reaction, like him or hate him or be indifferent to him, his reaction I felt was exactly, I don't know, on point, so to speak. Um, Actually, I didn't really listen to this because I didn't have the sound on.
All right, let me conclude. This is a statement from Donald Trump, quote, "We have completed our very successful attack on the 3 nuclear sites in Iran," etc.
So I believe that he was doing his own thing. He's been going on, this campaign, and like this, I think, was his like initial reaction. It was that disappointed. disappointed, defeated, kind of, like that moment when you feel like it just the opponent or whatever is just too strong, and it's like, how are we going to like get out of this, like, how are we going to overcome this or whatever. And so yeah, that was I my reaction was like, oh no. I think that was exactly my reaction. um I've talked about, you know, is it going to be like World War number 3? And my one friend saying, no, I don't know about that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't know. And this was like 3 weeks ago or so. And I'm like, I don't know, because it seems like it's like more and more and more and more and more. And it's almost like these people like Netanyahu, Trump, other people, other like leaders have kind of gotten themselves elected, and they have their little club. And I don't really know the end goal of it, because it doesn't seem to be joy, peace, prosperity. It seems like I actually don't even know. Hi LCH. Um well, here we go again is not a bad that's not bad, because here we go again in our lifetime is decent. Um but here we go again to like 1940s. Yeah, no thank you, or like worse. um and yeah, and I think Bernie in this one, where like people were saying, there was one with Bill Clinton also, and again, like, I guess I get why people, you know, look back like, oh, Clinton and Obama and all these people weren't great either, and blah blah blah. um doesn't mean that they're not wiser now, and doesn't mean that they sucked at everything. um but yeah, I just um one of them was saying how many people don't want to be roped into this. I think it was actually in this one, if I keep letting it play. That, you know, the soldiers that will be sent, the civilians that will that don't want to fight, that they don't have the same political agendas that these leaders have, that are just using innocent people. I also saw something that, like, these leaders should be the ones that we send to the battlefront if they want war so badly, if they want, you know, whatever conflict or whatever um territory or whatever they want, whatever resource, if they want it so badly, if they want to like have a genocide so badly or whatever it is, they should do it. Go do it. Man, like, it just like it makes me think so much, like, it just like I hate that feeling. I hate that feeling of putting myself in these men's shoes that are just so, excuse me, by proxy with everything. Like, they have no um not only no empathy and no ability to like understand human lives that they are putting, you know, at risk, in danger, or like actually unaliving. Um, but like, they don't get to, I don't, I've said it before, I don't think karma exists. I think they never get to feel any consequence of it. I think of, is he still alive? Castro? Cuba's guy. I think of North Korea, like all these people, I think they will just die like a natural, you know, when their time is up or whatever. They will never ever feel the consequence. They will never ever get personally affected by what they put others to do in their name, and for their like Sims playing pleasure. So that's why that word, this thymia word, like it stood out to me in the description of it. Because it's not just burnout, it's not just depression, it's something so specific where you just feel so overwhelmed. You feel like you don't have a voice. Like, even if you have a voice and you find your tribe and you find the people, like all the people that are protesting, and they see there's so many of them, but then there's nothing that can be done. And all, I don't know, again, who was saying, was it Dave? No, I don't think it was Dave Neal. I don't know. Someone was saying, like, all these politicians, no, it was just a random, not a random, to me, random person on Instagram that was saying all these politicians that just want to go by semantics, whether it was constitutional or not, what Donald Trump did with this. Like, that's not the point. The, the, the problem is, like, how we got here and where we are. Whether, I mean, it is kind of a certain point, but he goes into explaining why it's not really a point, whether it's constitutional or not, and how that's not necessarily good or bad or whatever, blah 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 blah. So it makes more sense when he says it. Maybe I can find that too. But I agree with the part where it's more so like all these politicians, all these people, all the people that, not just like you and me, but like politicians that know better, that can do a lot more, and just put their heads in the sand. That's like, to me, the stuff, cuz they're there. You and me, we might like get all this like um riled up, or all these like moments of like, ooh, that's not fair, or ooh, that's like dangerous, or ooh, that's scary, or whatever. um and I know, like, we're supposed to call congressmen and blah 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 blah, cool, yes, but I really think that these congressmen and all these people, they know better. It's not that they don't know, it's not that we need to tell them. They see so much more than we do. They just don't do better. Oh my gosh, the first thing that came on this other Instagram, Temu but Bush administration. Because there's a lot of talk how this is like Iraq 2.0 or whatever. Iraq. There you go. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it's Temu. I feel like it's worse than before. But I was trying to find things that, oh my gosh, I'm like such a mess. Blah blah blah. I'm on my iPad today because my monitor, I put it just to have more space. I put it in the other room, and I was too lazy to put it back up now tonight. I also didn't think. Oh, we're almost close to midnight. Let's see if the amended complaint comes in. Sorry about this. Oh my gosh, so much better than Friday. Oh, thank goodness. Um oh, maybe I don't have that guy. I thought I saved him talking. Darn it. I guess I didn't. But yeah, he was saying how, I think I just reposted it. So, let's see. Life of Chuck. Need to see that movie. This is my professor, by the way. I check him out.
With a lion in the circus. The lion in the wild is the emperor of the jungle.
This is like this book. What I just was saying, kind of, not really. The gist of what I read so far. But yeah, basically the lion, when the circus like takes lions, or took lions back in the day, they would like unlion him. Like, they would train a lion to do certain things, but the lion would have to, like, what does he say?
When he roars,
like take away parts of himself or whatever to like fit into that or whatever. Anyways, check him out. Wildlife Sucks is like this seminar that he created a while ago, and then I think that was the Instagram wildlife sucks wisdom. So definitely check him out. I love
It is
him.
that all of the international agencies have confirmed that Iran does not have nuclear weapons. And
Yeah,
what
that's
Israel
another
has
thing.
done is hurtling the region toward potentially a regional war that will be devastating for civilians.
Stop! I need to know what is happening right
That was the meme, or the thing that I was talking
now.
about, actually.
Okay, you know what? Moving too
I
fast.
loved it, this
Bottom
movie.
line, are you in or are you out?
What are you talking? In or out of what?
No time for questions, just action. In or out.
Okay, well then I'm out.
That is so relevant. That is so relevant.
Mr. Netanyahu
I don't know
has
about
long
right now.
I am constantly
This guy.
amazed by how many of our elected representatives don't actually understand the Constitution that they swore an oath to. Many of our elected representatives don't actually understand the Constitution that they swore an oath to. Be clear, for context, like the overwhelming majority of Americans, I am fundamentally against what we did last week. However, the discussion since that happened, especially among our elected reps, hasn't been about the morality of it, about the efficacy of it. It's instead been about whether it's constitutional. And it is crazy to me how history repeats itself, because I remember having this exact conversation with my students in constitutional law class not that many years ago about Syria, although I wasn't teaching it at the time, if I would have been in 2011 on Libya. Now, to be clear, there is absolutely an argument that what we did should be unconstitutional. Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution,
I also feel like
war.
I've done this, like, just drink the coffee or just put it down. But I can so relate to, like, you're starting to talk about something and, like, okay, because I actually have my, like, hot chocolate or whatever that's really cold now. And it's like,
President is the commander of the American forces. So textually, yeah, sure, there is an argument, of course, that Congress is the one that decides that we're going to go to war and the president is the one that executes it. However, it's important that when we talk about the constitutionality of something that we're not just talking about the actual strict text itself, because
okay, this is long and I can't, like, YouTube and TikTok, you can forward to the place that you want. But later on, he gets into, like, it's whether or not it's constitutional is not really the right question to ask. Anyways, so yeah. Oh, and then I'll get to the little article things. Thank you. I don't want to relive any of yeah. 1938, 43, 68, 93, 2001 to now. Yeah. When will we stop? I really would like to know, to what end, what are we trying to do? Can Generation Z actually, like, just hold on in there? Because I feel like I'm a millennial, I guess, technically 39. I don't know what that makes me. But I feel like my generation, maybe we're a little, I don't know. I'm still, I feel like, aspirational. And I hear a lot about Gen Z being aspirational and, like, in a very strong way. And because of the resources of YouTube, of all these things, of social media, of different ways to connect and all that stuff. Can they take over? Like, now? Can they just take over now? We can have, like, better working conditions. We can have better governments. We can have, like, just more peace and love and, chill. Like, what are we doing? I've talked about, like, the AI thing. In a world where we are literally able to work less and, like, work less, work more efficiently, work less stuff that we don't need to be doing because a robot can do it. Sometimes literally. I'm not even talking about AI. I'm talking about, like, even manufacturing and stuff. Why are we not focusing on making society in a way that we can just live better? Because we can. We cannot have homelessness. We cannot have mental health crises. We cannot have, just income disparity, not disparity, no, just inequality and all this stuff. And we can also not have just working stupidly. Hashtag B movie, which was trending. I talked about it, 2, 3, 4 lives ago. And then just shortly after, I think, on Disney, Hulu, Netflix. I don't know. It was like one of the top 5 movies. I think it was Netflix actually, and it wasn't because of us of me mentioning, but I was mentioning it because of this like bee worker bee mentality and how we can move away from that. We can enjoy a life instead of like just being worker bees and being run into the ground and whatever. Anyways, I'm deviating or whatever. I'm going really too much on the tangent. But instead of doing that, we're just like going backwards into like having wars over stupid stuff. I don't care if we have like another territory, if we have more of land or whatever. You know what would work even better? And oh, you know what also would happen if, you know, different people would have different parts of the land? It wouldn't be as burdensome to one people. Because, like when you're like in a team, if like schoolwork or whatever, when you're in a team and only one person is doing the paper or writing the paper, so much harder. When multiple people are doing the paper and you take care of this part because you're good at this part, and not necessarily sections, but like, hey, like you're a great proofreader, you'll proofread it for us. Hey, you're great at like graphics, so you do the graphics. Or hey, you do this part of the research because you're really passionate or you have an experience in this particular side of the research, and I have in this other part of the research or whatever. And oh, you know what happens? It's less burdensome for everyone because everyone's doing also what they're best at, the resources that each country has best. Potatoes from Americas because they grow potatoes the best or whatever, or oil or whatever. And then there wouldn't be any burden on any economy, any one particular country or whatever, if we would just all get along, which sounds so simplistic. I just still don't understand what it would take for us as a humanity to get to that point where it tips over to more of us being enlightened to that and less about just like head in the on the ground and not enlightened. Just like, no, we need to have this territory, we need this war, we need this, we need these resources. Even my family, who's quite, my stepfather is like really, like he loves reading, he loves study, like he knows so much. But even he and I kind of have a difference of opinion on what's going on with Iran and with Israel in general, with Israel and Gaza, now Israel and Iran. And I said, like, I don't feel like bullying Iran is the answer. I understand that they're, not doing the best as far as like human rights. They're not happiest. I've watched 90 Day Fiance. I've listened to a Iranian talk about some really disturbing, methods. Like I think he was saying that if you're seen drinking alcohol or whatever, like you're thrown in jail or whatever. So like, I get that. I get that, people like that and people like that who, meaning like the government of Iran who has sponsored all these terrorists around, the region, blah, 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 blah. I get that's not good. I get these things. I also don't think that the answer is to bully them. I don't think the answer is to attack them. I don't think that helps anything because, as I said to him, and I know it's also very simplistic of me to say this, but like the terrorist groups won't be needed. They might not even get to the point of existing if the people that they're representing are not oppressed in some way and they're not in danger of some way. People are struggling and therefore those like just mushroom out. Just they grow in power. And so it's not just because they're financed. And it's not like that one doctor, whatever the professor that said that it's this big Islam agenda or whatever to take over the world or whatever. Okay, have you heard of Christianity? Okay, bye. Um, I think it's very simple. It's like you look at how the situation in Gaza is going, like, and again, it's just like so inhumane. Yeah. Anyways, I digress so much that I don't even remember what I was talking about, where I left off. Um, yeah. They should Joan of Arc. Yeah. I'm a combat veteran. I would love to see these people eat MREs. Yeah. Isn't that just so like aggravating that these people that make these decisions that other people have the consequences of don't have that? I think Trump was Bush the same, like, because I remember Bush, like, Junior, the little one, the teddy bear one. I call him teddy bear. He George W. Bush. Um, he didn't do combat, or he wasn't in the army or whatever. Was Trump in the army? I feel like, you know, that's even another layer of like not understanding. Even though like just because you did that, you might not have a exact understanding if you weren't sent to war in that particular time that you did it or whatever. But yeah, it's like they don't even have that. I mean, I don't either, and I don't want it. I'm not for war. I'm over here not really a hippie, but hippie as far as like I don't want war. I don't think that we need it. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's unavoidable. I don't want war. I don't want war. Even in my personal relationships, it's like um it's like it's a little different because I look like I might because I do, you know, have fearful avoidant attachment theory style. So I do blow up. But besides that, but I like quickly like, you know, go to like I don't want to fight, and like I try so hard to understand, and I've like given people so many endless passes, you know, at the end of the day. Like I might like puff and puff, but at the end of the day, it's like no. Or just like you know, just never talk to that person if it's like something really unchangeable or whatever. But yeah, they can go to Mel Gibson in Braveheart all day. And stop putting, yeah, right. He was the one that like went in front of the line. Stop putting all of us in the line of fire for all their BS, both international and domestic. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah. And like I don't even get what they get out of it. Cuz wouldn't they get so much more if aren't happy people spending more money, making them more rich? Especially like someone like Trump that has businesses and stuff. Like wouldn't you want people to be happy and safe, and so they can spend more? Like so I don't even understand. I don't understand why like everything's just like people talk about it like it's all a distraction. It's like um it's created to be distraction. I don't even like distraction from being happy, from that there is another solution. I think again about career and jobs. Like I just am so fed up with being sold that the only job I can have is in person when I know so many people not in person. I was today at the gym. There were a lot of young people, like mid-age, you know, not like 18-year-olds. There were a lot of young people in all sorts of ages there at like 10, 11 a.m. And they're at the movie. I was at Life of Chuck. That there's so many people in the movie of all ages and stuff. Like, don't tell me that people don't work from home and they can't balance life and stuff. Europe. Europe, I had my one friend work in France, and I don't know the direct experience, but I remember she had a lot of time off, a lot of holidays, a lot of people in Romania. People in August are nowhere to be found at work because everyone's taking a month long vacation pretty much. And there are, you know, like obviously there's like different professions, but like don't tell me people like we need to work this way and this is the only way to work and this is the only way to do. That's like the stuff just drives me crazy, crazy. And my friend was trying to say, "Yeah, but you need to have money to live." And I'm like, "What the heck argument is that?" Yeah. Although like I'm making my little vegetable garden, like I'm trying to find other ways around it, but like I was like, what trauma do you have? Because that's the thing that she keeps repeating. I'm like, you're not listening. Like, what is this argument, anyways? Um, but yeah, and same with like fights and stuff. Like, what is this for? At the end of the day, like, it's just It's just so pointless. So stupid. They look so stupid. Like with Ukraine, with Gaza, with Iran now, all the three of these people look so ridiculous. They look so pathetic and the opposite of tough and impressive and I almost said impressionable, impressive and smart and strong. They do not look strong because they're just attacking people left and right and people that can't defend themselves or they're pointing the finger. Oh, look, they're attacking us after we attack them. Like, how dare they? Yeah. Yeah. um Wait. Oh, yeah, yeah. Thank you for your service to Dr. J. Um, oops, my chat went up. Where was I? Okay. I don't know how to reply. This isn't my forte, but you're hilarious. Paint the face blue and charred. If you're talking about like in the chat, if you put like an @ sign and then you start typing the person's it has to be their channel name and not everyone's name is their channel name. So, yeah, but that's if that's what your question was, Dr. J. Um uh don't either. I get so lost on others that I can handle. Oh, yeah, welcome. This is a very small community right now, and I do like it's like the tough like I want the monetization, for example, and I mean selfishly I do want to reach more people, because sometimes I like what I say and sometimes I'm like I don't know what I'm saying if it's good or not, um but then the downside is that it's a lot more in the chat for everyone, for me, for you guys, and so yeah. And I mean, I don't know if I ever get like big enough, like what will I do? Because I love reading and interacting with you guys. Like this is one or two, number one or number two of why I love doing this is because I get to like actually interact with you and not just like speak. Because otherwise I would just do like videos. So yeah. Um, oh my gosh. It's been that time. Um, in the obviously really in the wrong spot. I want to with this dad chat. Yeah, the dad chats. I'm following him just off today, just off of that. Um, so much better than I worry I'll embarrass myself, so I don't comment often on other channels. Yeah, I've been there. I've been there. Oh, sorry. 1 second. I need to like drink something because this. Okay. Um. So young. Yeah, you're exactly right, 100%. But if we, I'm so young, is that what you're saying? Who was so young? You are exactly right, 100%. But if we fixed all of this, what would they be able to pin us against each other? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yep. I was like also in the wrong chat. I was looking at the tiny, tiny little ones. All right, there you go. My first highlight. I don't know. Sometimes like let me know too if you don't want to be highlighted also. But you're so right and most of us would agree with this. We all just want to live our lives and enjoy them for the very small amount of time we have. And that was the one that I was like showing, the other one that I was showing. Oh gosh. That's so loud. I wasn't sharing. This one was talking exactly about that all these civilians that are affected in these regions in the US, in Iran, in Israel, in Palestine, and Qatar now and everywhere. Like, they just want to be happy. They want to love. They want to like eat whatever foods they like to eat. Like at the end of the day, no one really wants war except for these people in power that I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, okay, to their strengths. It's called community and really trusting at a large scale. Yeah, yeah. Hashtag Finland, and how they're one of the happiest nations, or the happiest nations, because of the trust that they have and the reliability that the people have with each other and with their government and everything. Oh, Mrs. Busted Can of Biscuits, welcome. Hi. I don't know what's happening. I'm in a complaint deadline and it's not there. Yeah, I was going to look, but I was like reading the chats. Um, it might be, although if Lauren's not live, well, she could be just sleeping but it might be that it's in the back and it's not an on-court listener, and it's, unless you checked, what do you call it, Pacer. But yeah, I don't see it either. So, but sometimes it comes in later. I don't know how it works, because sometimes I've seen it come in like in the middle of the night. Maybe not middle of the night. So, I don't know. Interesting. They had a lot. Maybe they got like an extension with the deposition. Maybe not, right? I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes the court findings do come in like slower. But I love your name. Um, Less power and greed. Agreed. Yes. Back to morals, ethics, common human respect, and decency. Oh, those little things. A commander in chief that hasn't served is the most confusing part of POTUS, and many veterans are confused by that. We pride ourselves on following the chain of command. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. He's at the top, right? And then the president. He's the leader of the army, or not the army, but all of it. And yet if they didn't serve, yeah, that is confusing. It sounds like something from, although like I feel like in Britain the royalty, like, they serve, but it sounds like something from like back of those ages where kings were just kings, and they were just soft. They didn't do anything, they didn't know anything, they were just born into it. But this is like an updated version of that, where, yeah, updated version of that, if that's like the case. And hence all the issues with taking away from like veteran services. And I had a friend that was in the army and talked about like or a couple of people have talked about how it's already not good, but yeah. um I don't understand how it's not a requirement. Yeah, born in the USA, over 35, and served at least 4 years in the military. Why not? Yeah. Um 39 is young. Yeah, it doesn't feel like that when your life is not in any way created. Like career, relationship, don't have kids, like nothing is. I feel like I'm 29, except my biology is saying I'm 39, because I have nothing that's done. Exactly. Would that be so hard? Yeah. Yeah, there's something else that oh, I remember. Um did um did you guys, did you see Parasite? Because we're talking a lot about that, especially Dr. J. Um, is a because we're talking. You're saying about the commander in chief and stuff. I don't know why I thought of that from that specific comment of yours, but yeah, Parasite, loved it. I loved it personally, but I don't think they specifically talked about that. I don't know why it just popped up. This is so bright over here. What you're doing right now is creating. Dr. Beck from Harvard has an amazing book on that. Our expectations of ourselves are too high. Yeah, yeah. I also think about that when I try to take a nap and I can't because, well, one, because my mom said that is bad. And then science says, no, it's good. It extends your life. But, you know, parents say, no, you can't sleep later if you take a nap during the day. And I'm like, yes, I can. Um, and then also just the productivity part that so many of us have. Like, I can't, like, so I've been unemployed, technically unemployed. Like, I feel, talk about expectations. I feel like this is really a full time job that I've been doing in the last few weeks, a little closer to part time. But technically, and I don't get paid for it. But I've been unemployed for a while, a few months, and I feel like I've not had one day off. Not one day. Every single day when you're unemployed, or at least me, I am in constant stress that I need to be productive. That I need to be productive in like finding something and creating a job for myself, like YouTube or whatever. And it's things that like I would, if I would have all the money in the world and would have all the time in the world, I would still do this. I'm not doing this for the money. I'm doing like what I talk. You can see like I'm not always like on top of like the latest thing because I just kind of talk what is relevant to what's kind of been the topic on this channel and caught on. But it also was like what I was really passionate to talk about at the time and so forth and still now. Um, but yeah, and or like I mean, psychology, I do regret not going for that. So I did the coaching, which I regret not being able to like really take that on right now at this moment. But yeah, there's like every single day, and which is why like that one friend that says, "Oh, but you need money to live and all this stuff." When I was like trying to say how crappy the job system is and how it's just so messed up and all over the place. Because I feel like I'm working all the time. There is no way that I feel comfortable telling her like, okay, time to start work at like 5 p.m. on Monday because that's when I sometimes start preparing for this. Or like, oh my gosh, there was like I'm so burned out, or like that was such a long day of work or whatever. When my work is preparing for this um or whatever. There's just so much. I don't know that expectations of ourselves are too high or expectations that we feel from the outside. Because I feel like if we were left to, like, in the woods, I don't think that we would have the same expectations. I think we're just like sponges for all the things that everyone wants us to be and the things that we want that we're told, like, if we want what we want, then we have to do A, B plus, C, D, E, F, G. And then you also hear more now that there's not one way to go about doing whatever you want to do. If you want to be an accountant, well, I mean, well, that maybe, but like creative people wise, etc. There's so many different routes to it, etc. I don't know, but yeah, there is definitely a voice. Dr. Param over there, he would say the monkey brain. He didn't make that up, but I just know it from him. That monkey that's like on your shoulders, like you're not doing enough, you're not doing enough, you're not doing enough, you're not doing specifically this stuff enough. Um, and no matter how hard we work, this week going to the movies in the middle of the day today, even though like I really wanted to see it, but also I'm putting it on here, so it is kind of half work for me. Um, that I felt uncomfortable. I'm like, I feel like I can't be here. I'm not productive enough. I'm just sitting here watching a movie. So yeah. I don't know that I've heard of Dr. It sounds familiar, Dr. Beck, but yeah. Do you know the book name? I would be curious now that I'm trying to read. Where is I have no notepad over here. All right, well, another Google search for later. Oh, I guess he's pretty. Wait, is this the same guy? No, sorry. Martha Beck. Okay. Where did I leave off? Okay. Haven't seen that's so funny. I haven't seen Parasite. I will watch it. Yeah. I loved it. I loved it. 20-minute nap are extremely beneficial. Completely understand. I have been there. Probably I'm still in school, probably both. Oh, that's so cool. I learn something every day, and I think that we always tell ourselves we have to do more because, like you said, it's the society we grew up in. Yeah. Um, yeah. Are you in school for a therapy program? Um, and yeah. So sad. Let's move to Europe. It's whole different ball game, whole different thing. Although, they have that kind of hustling mindset in a way too, but I don't know. I don't know. At least like up to a few years ago they didn't. Beyond anxiety. Okay. I feel like just from that title, I need that. In the past few lives, like last on Friday and this one, I think, and then reading this book, like I'm starting to feel that rekindling of the psychology, the coaching, all this stuff. So yeah. Um yeah. Do you mean like a list of books that you have or that you're writing? I this is kind of it. The other things that I had on here were just wrong way. Were just like articles that were well, this was just random, honestly. Thailand announces new border restrictions as tensions with Cambodia soar. I included it because I'm like, another one. I mean, I know there's so many countries in tensions and in wars and fights and whatevers. And I guess I clicked on this and wanted to mention it because I've been under a rock. Probably you guys haven't, but I've been under a rock, and I feel like I with what is happening now with Gaza and Iran, and really it started with Ukraine, it made me think I need to know more about the conflicts out there. Because there's more that are happening right now. So this one's one, I guess. Thailand has announced new land border. I wish there was a map of all the conflicts currently happening. Has announced new land border restrictions to block tourists heading into Cambodia amid rising tensions between the two countries, according to Prime Minister. Ooh, that's a fun name that I can't pronounce. Paiton Ktarn Shinawatra. Only students, medical patients, and those purchasing essential goods can enter or leave Thailand. The Thai army confirmed that the measures are now in effect at every land border checkpoint. In retaliation, Cambodia has boycotted certain Thai internet services and has cut off electricity and fuel supplies from Thailand. How people just get along. I mean, I know how like ridiculous that sounds, but yeah. Iran says it launched attack on U.S. forces at Qatar's Al Udeid air base on June 23. But like nothing was. There was no. I think they were shut down the missiles or whatever. Yeah. Israel hits Iranian government targets, including Evin prison in Tehran. Probably pronounce that. Who knows? I'm butchering it in all the different languages. Like my pronunciation is based on many languages. As Iran launches more attacks on Israel. There was Daily Show guy. I forget his name. Jon Stewart. He showed over the years how many times Netanyahu has said, "Oh, they're weeks away from having a nuclear bomb." Iran. And that was like in I think 2012 and or even earlier, and it was just like a few weeks away. They're like almost there. They're right there. They're like right there. And they're right there again. And yeah, and you know what we know about Iraq now, that this intelligence wasn't really intelligent. So yeah. Iran parliament approves closure of Strait of Hormuz. And actually, that guy that I used his video on the boat, the Mexican boat in New York, I forget the name, but he has like why that's unlikely that the Hormuz Strait will be closed. We'll have to wait and see. Part of me, I've said this before, part of me just wants all of it to go wrong. Because I wonder what then? Will that help people see how, sorry, how, oh, this is not what we wanted. This is not good. Maybe we shouldn't have done this. I don't know. Like, I want, this to be closed. I want all the stuff to like happen, like the consequences or whatever. Like when the tariffs were talking, no one's talking about tariffs now, right? What's going on with the tariffs? I know that I see a lot of like empty shelves in a lot of stores. But yeah, like with the tariffs when they were happening, like I was like supporting Canada in boycotting or whatever. Like, yeah, okay, do it. Do it. And see what it feels like. Part of me wants that. Although like I would also be suffering, but I feel like it's a just suffering. I don't know if that's a thing. Supreme Court allows Trump to restart swift deportation of migrants away from their home countries. So that's like slipping under the radar there with Iran. On Monday, the Supreme Court voted 6-3 to lift a lower court injunction allowing the Trump administration to resume deportations. The decision followed legal challenges arising from Trump's administration efforts to deport migrants to nations like South Sudan and Libya, which are deemed dangerous and were not named in removal orders. That's so messed up. So people came here as refugees, I'm guessing, and they're like, no, we're sending you back. All right. Man. All right. And then, let me finish all of these. I'm just doing a quick overview because it's late. Anderson Cooper CNN crew evacuate while on air in Israel. During a live broadcast in Tel Aviv, as missile alarms warned of an imminent attack. The evacuation, sometimes I want to say, how convenient. The evacuation followed U.S. strikes on Iranian nuclear sites and escalating conflict between Israel and Iran, which triggered a 10-minute missile warning across Tel Aviv. Whatever. Donald Trump confirms Iran warned ahead of Qatar military base attack. No Americans were harmed and called the retaliation very weak. Expressed hope that this attack ended Iranian retaliation and encouraged Israel and Iran to pursue peace in the region. That's so stupid. So he just came Like, Israel attacked Iran. Iran said, hold up, let me fight back. Like, you slapped me, I'll slap you back. And then US just for no reason, like, oh, let me also slap you, Iran. And then Iran's like, oh, let me slap you back. I'm sorry, that's just, I mean, that's exactly what's going on right now. It just sounds so stupid because it is stupid. And then Trump is like, okay, so now you guys, now that we all slapped each other, like, now you can continue the peace. But Netanyahu didn't want the peace because he just freaking started all of this. So what peace is it going to pursue, Trump? Like, so I feel like Trump is just like naive at this point or something. I don't know what's going on. All right, so that's kind of the news. I don't know. Oh man. Um, you're writing 2 books. Oh, that's so cool. They have good titles, but my ADHD is real. Yeah. Uh, but they're good, and again, completely understand that you're doing better than I would saying all that. Yeah, I don't know. But thank you, and that's so exciting. If you're still here, if I'm still here, if we're like, whenever you are done with your books, you gotta let us know to go find them. Um, but yeah, I get it. Are they like fiction books or nonfiction books? Are they for your school? Are you doing your PhD? So many questions. I just good night. I just have like I just feel yeah. Anyways, this BB is full of this BB is full of BS. I'm guessing. I hope they are. She's doing great. All the logic. I wish people would hold their breath than act rather than react to things. Yeah. I mean, I react. So, but yeah, I agree. That would be amazing, but might take but might make life too easy. I don't think life would be too easy. And good night, LCS. Yeah, I'm going to wrap up in like the next minute. This was good time and discussion. I look forward to the next one. I subscribe. Yeah, thank you so much to all the new subscribers. Um, but yeah. Oh, 226 guys, 226. Oh my gosh. I was just hoping for one tonight. Thank you so much. Um but yeah, I react. I also know that my nervous system is like less and less flexible. There's this one, she was a part of my coaching program, but she's also a psychologist, a therapist, and licensed therapist. And she has this attachment style, Instagram or whatever, and she talks about I forget if it was her or someone else, but basically someone was saying about like the flexibility of the nervous system, and if you are like burned out or if you have trauma or whatever, something is like really pressing on it, like you're not flexible anymore. Um and so I think that can also play a part in why people are reacting and not, I mean, it's really hard to imagine that these rich, leaders of countries are that, but like at the same time, no matter what, they do have a lot of stress. And even if you think that, there's narcissism involved or whatever, that's stress enough too. So um yeah, it could be something like that. I don't know, it might not be. Maybe I'm just being too nice about all of that. Too understanding. But I think that it's not about me that life would be too easy. I think it's just that um it's a chicken egg thing, and we don't know how to break the cycle. So yeah. But I believe in keep talking about it, and the more we all talk about it, the more we all hear about it, the more we think about it, the more we sit with it, the more we hopefully have more of those thoughts, good thoughts, positive towards positivity, towards peace, towards all those things, compassion, empathy, etc., etc. And maybe it'll add up to something that's bigger. therapy books, ways to navigate things. One is about self-esteem and the other is about relationships. I'm doing my second PhD in traumatology. I didn't know that was a thing. First one was I don't know what IO psych and licensed as um, cool. I don't know the abbreviations. I've seen them, but I don't know. I'll have to look that up. But that's so cool. That is so cool. I do regret so much not, I don't know, sticking with psychology. Um since professional counselor and medical counselor. Oops, see, my chat went away. It only gives me so many characters. Yeah. Um yeah. That's really cool. I'm so happy you're here. I will talk. I don't know, like industrial and organizational psychology. Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. Anyways, yeah, I'm geeking over you, Dr. J. I love psychology, and you'll hear about it every time probably. How much I love it, and so I'm also feeling honored, flattered. I feel like those are really uncomfortable to say. I don't know that those are the right ones, but like I feel just over the moon that you're here. So yeah, so excited to have you from that area of the world and life. Um, excuse me, one class at a time. Yeah. So cool, so cool. And yeah, um, I don't know what that means exactly. What I was going to say is that like this person, the I don't know what I kind of lost the thing. So this person too, I think that, and in today's time, I feel like this is what we need. We need more. We need more people that go to whatever psychology school, except whatever Dr. Leslie Dobson did. We don't need more of her. We need more people that actually are passionate about good change and actual change and helping instead of like, I don't know, what she wanted. I just find like the pattern, I feel like there's similarities between her. There was something the other day that I was like, oh my gosh, she said the exact same phrasing that Trump says. I don't remember what it was. And then Blake also. So I feel like they're all kind of that same type of person. I can't really put my finger on it. So yeah. And I mean, people are people throughout all the professions. But yeah. Um I don't have one, and I think this is amazing that you hold your own and host a show. It's amazing to me. I appreciate that. I'm gonna try to be better at accepting um compliments, praise, or not appreciation. What's the word? Um, acknowledgement. Acknowledgement. So thank you. We need people who do the right thing for the right reasons. Yeah. Yes. In every single profession, everywhere, every day. Yeah. Well, on that note, just because I will talk forever and I love this. And, you know, the OGs, you can attest that I will talk forever. So I'm going to like rip the band-aid and end tonight's live. Um Except that I think you're awesome. I will I will work on that. I can't right now, but I appreciate that, and I will work on that. But yeah, so thank you for being here. Thank you for all the like we got like 9 subscribers. No. No, not 9. 9 since like last week. We got the 2. But yeah, right? Where am I? I don't know. 5 subscribers? I can't do math. Whatever. 7? 7. Anyways, thank you everyone that's new. We love this channel. Thank you, Maria. I love you guys. I love the OGs. I love the new people. Thank you for being here. Thank you for, I don't know. Thank you. And thank you for being one of these people, hopefully. I'm guessing that if you're here, if you're on Lauren's channel, like you're one of those people that do the right things and the things for the right reason. So yes. Peace, love, and compassion and empathy. And oh, Arnaldo. Thank you. And I'll see you guys. I'm sure I will see you before Friday because we're waiting for the amended complaint or whatever is coming from it. Let me like do one more thing. I'm not gonna read it if it is there, but it's not. And so yeah, it's going to be a big week, people say, so I'll probably see you before. Tomorrow I'm gonna see Materialist, and I will have that on Friday for you guys, or like on Thursday or something. And then tomorrow I'll have, well, I don't know what I'll have. Anyways, but if anything, Friday for sure. I'll see you, hopefully. And have a wonderful week. And yeah, cool. Good night and welcome, of course, Dr. J. And yeah, have a wonderful night. Bye. And where's my end screen? There we go.